Good evening. My name is Barry Washer, and I'm a music major at Western Kentucky University. As of right now, I'm taking this advanced analysis class, and we have been studying Schenkerian analysis, which is a really cool concept. It's taking the basic fundamental structure of a piece of music. It's breaking down all this complicated stuff that you see to its fundamental roots, a 1-5-1, in general speaking. And it's taking a complicated piece of music and making it seem simple. So, with that being said, I study out of the Frederick Notebook, which is a very good one, especially for anybody trying to learn classical music. And in it, I am doing my Schenkerian analysis on El Testament de Emilia. Now, for some reason, Frederick Node labeled his El Testament de Emilia, which this is the only time I've ever seen that. Everywhere else is de Emilia. But it's okay. Now, with me coming up to it, it's not too complicated, but it's very technical in your handwork. And especially the B section, you have some nice harmonics, and this can take some serious technique. But in general, it's a nice, pretty, easy melody with a kind of a complicated harmony in the process. It's in the key of D minor. And when I was doing my Schenkerian analysis, you're trying to find the fundamental structure with the Erlinia. You can either have a three-line Erlinia, a 5-line, or a 8, which is an octave. So a 3-line would be like mi, re, do, or me, re, do, in the case of a minor key. Then the 5-line would be like so, fa, mi, re, do, and then the 8 one would be do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. This one is I have come to the conclusion that it's a 5-line Erlinia. And what's kind of cool is these first two measures are just kind of like a little intro. It's a pretty intro too. And it comes up here and goes to so. But now whenever you get down here to measure 8, you get this whopping half cadence. And then you start it all back over from the beginning. And it's pretty cool. So I actually ended up doing a foreground, middle ground, and a background on this. Now, I'm going to hold them next to each other for a comparison. But as you can see right here, this first line, da 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 da. What you do is you want to take the most fundamental notes and keep them, and get rid of everything else that's not essential. And now, for my own benefit, I wrote out the ledger lines for the foreground, but on the middle ground and background, I just wrote the octave equivalents, because that's a lot of ledger lines. And as you can see, it goes do, me, so. And then you got this fa right here, which is a kind of a passing tone. It's not part of the chord quality. And right here it is in this one. And as you can see how it goes do, 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 3, it repeats do, D, in the first measure 3 times. And so really that first one's what's important. And so that's why I gave it a stem. All the stem notes are the important ones. And then the dots are just, they're there for character. And there's this interesting chord that I came to in the music. It's right here. And I had no idea what to call this. It's F sharp. Or no, it's oh well. Anyways, right here it is. It's got a C, F sharp, E flat, and an A. So I kind of just labeled it as a sharp 3, fully diminished 4/3. But it's not important, but it is a very pretty chord itself. Now, mind you, I've done the Schenkerian analysis on the A section, so that's just the measure 16. I didn't do one of the B section or the coda at the end, which the coda is a very pretty and powerful coda in my opinion. But this right here, the middle ground doesn't look too complicated. It's very simple. It's like I said, I removed all the unessential notes, so it's this. Then when we get to the background, that's where it really gets interesting. Because I went ahead and got rid of all the unessentials. And they're just notes there. And the most important ones, part of the Erlinia, the fundamental ones, is I put as half notes and connected them with beams. Now, as I said, it came to that whopping half cadence. And so when it done that, you got a 5, and it doesn't really go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 like so, fa, mi, re, do. It just so, and then floats around there for a little bit, and then comes back to so. So it's all about scale degree 5 in that section. And the only really important bass notes is the 1, or chords, is the 1 chord. And possibly the 5 at the end, but I didn't feel like it was that essential in this bass, because, for example, in the book, it writes out a totally different one, but it's a harmonic, so it sounds different than what it actually is. So I just had to transcribe that. and it turned out to be this really high E right here. So the 1 is the most essential. And then whenever you get back to the next section, from measure 9 on, it starts right there on so. So that made the Erlinia very smooth. And it goes so, fa, may. Then there's not really a re, and then it goes to do. In fact, it goes may, do. And so there wasn't really a re. There's only one re in the entire piece of music. And it's this one right here. And it's not even part of the chord itself. It's a neighbor tone. And it's on beat 3, which is a weak beat in the key of 3/4. So it's not really strong enough to say that was part of the Erlinia. So I had to add it myself. And I ended up adding it right there at this 5/7 chord. And in parentheses. That's why it's in parentheses, because it's not really there, but it should be there. And but now the fa and the may were still very important to the harmonic structure. So that's why I gave them a flag at the top, like an eighth note, to show that they are important, but they're not part of the Erlinia. And underneath the line is where I put the main chords. And I got a 1, a 7, diminished 4/2, a 1, 5/7, and 1. And those are the basics of my Schenkerian analysis. Now hopefully when you listen to this, you can hear it, the so, fa, may, do, as you're listening. And this right here is the music. And I will be playing it on guitar. But now, as a performer, I am going to take some liberties. So as I get here to this half cadence, I'm actually going to slow the tempo down and then pick it right back up to tempo. Now, I've only done the Schenkerian analysis on the A section, but I am going to go ahead and perform the A and B section and the coda. So hopefully you enjoy. El Testamon de Emilia. Alright, and that is my performance on El Testamon de Emilia. And I hope you enjoyed it, and that is my Schenkerian analysis on it. I want to give a special thank you to the man recording right now. This is my great Uncle Bob. He is about 75 years old, so there's a little mess up here and there. It's alright. Fun fact, Kentucky Horseshoe Hall of Fame right there. So we got a Hall of Famer over here. And without further ado, thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.